Alright, back by popular demand, I decided to vlog myself in a Beyblade tournament, and by popular demand I mean one person said they wanted to see it, which was good enough for me. For those of you who don't know the lore, I recently got back into Beyblade because the new Beyblade X series kept popping up on my Instagram feed. Oh, wrong Instagram feed. There we go. And like most drugs, after one hit, I was hooked. I kept coming back to buy more, like that chocolate guy from SpongeBob.
Chocolate? Chocolate! 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 Chocolate!
Nonetheless, I signed up for the tournament online, and apparently you can only have one type of Beyblade per person for this tournament. Probably should have researched that before I bought all the meta Beyblades. Your boy's gonna be eating ramen noodles for a while. So in this tournament, your Beyblade has to be in stock form and you're not allowed to customize it. And it's one Beyblade per person. I don't mind this setup, especially because this is my first tournament and I have no data on what the best combinations are. So I think it's a good gateway into the scene. I mean, granted, I could probably just have Google search the best combinations, but I'm too lazy. Okay, so obviously the meta Beyblades were taken, so I had to go with the next best thing, which was Dran Buster, which is an attack type Beyblade with no stamina. So I have to finish the battle early and not draw out the match. After doing some testing with this Beyblade, I have a premonition that I'm gonna get my cheeks absolutely clapped in this tournament, like Yamcha when he fought that green thing. Anyway, let's head to the tournament.
Oh man, I got a lot of gold. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Hey. Oh man, I got a lot of gold. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Hey. I grind to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles.
Alright, so not before long my match had started and I was feeling pretty confident in myself in this matchup. I honestly don't know what Beyblade I was going up against, so if you know what it is, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, I did not have to do anything in this match. The Beyblade kind of just self-KO'd itself, so yeah, it kind of worked out for me. I forgot to mention, it's first to 5 points to win, and in this second match I tried the tilted launch to see if it was effective, and to my surprise, it worked pretty well. At this point, I was getting kind of nervous now because I don't usually win this consistently, and I was ready to get clapped, but Dran Buster was able to pull through and knock him out of the stadium before it ran out of stamina. I was able to move to the second round after decimating my first opponent. For this match, I was up against Hell's Hammer, a balance type Beyblade. So I started off with a higher angled tilted launch because I knew the new UX Beyblades had a taller ratchet, so I was aiming for the burst finish. And your boy got it.
For a moment.
For this match, I went back to the old bread and butter, the tilted launch, but unfortunately I wasn't able to burst it this time. I almost got knocked out of the stadium, but the 160 is notorious for recovery and it became a stamina battle. I thought I stood no chance in the stamina battle, but my boy Dran Buster persevered for me. I was 0 for 3 at this point and I was ready to take it home, but I got insta-killed this round. After that insta-kill, I got a little too impatient and went for the aggressive launch, which backfired on me. The first knockout didn't count because the Beyblade went straight into the pocket, but I lost points for the second self-knockout. After that, it was kinda all downhill. My stroke of luck seemed to run out. I wasn't able to get the initial attacks and was pulled into a stamina battle, which isn't Dran Buster's forte. And at this point, I have realized that the clapping was about to start. I kind of threw this match with my skill issue at the end there.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, moving on into the next match, I was up against Hell's Chain, another balance type Beyblade. For the first round, the opponent's Beyblade flew out of the stadium, and that doesn't count as a point, so we had to do a relaunch. Dran Buster in this round was able to knock Hell's Chain out of the stadium, giving me 2 points. For the next 3 rounds, I wasn't able to get any meaningful attacks in the beginning of the battle, and my opponent was able to set me with spin finishes for 3 rounds, putting our score at 3-2, me being 2. After that 3rd spin finish, I was tired of getting out stamina, so I went hard with the launch and I got a knockout finish. This was anybody's game at this point. So I went really hard on the launch and threw myself into the extreme zone, but thankfully that didn't count because it went straight in there. But it didn't matter, Dram Buster went a little crazy at the end and threw itself into the knockout zone, so I lost this match. Going into the next match, I had 1 win and 2 losses, which means I had to win the next 2 battles, and if I did, then there might be a slim chance for me to get into the top 8 for the finals. The Beyblade I was going up against on my 4th match was this green one. I don't know what the Beyblade is, so please tell me in the comments below. Unfortunately, Dram Buster wasn't able to put in the work at the start of the match, and I lost with a spin finish this round. In the second round, I went with a flat launch to start out aggressive, and it paid off with a bit burst. So I tried the flat launch again, but Dram Buster missed its extreme attack, and with a flat launch you lose stamina really fast. I lost with a spin finish. Thankfully, a spin finish is only worth 1 point. Dram Buster was able to get some good licks in the first few seconds, but it wasn't enough to knock him out, and I lost to another spin finish. So out of nowhere, this man started talking to the Beyblade, and when I saw that, I was like, man, I am not losing to this guy. So
we will win. We want this sprinkler master.
So I think he got a little too excited after talking to his Beyblade and then launched his Beyblade straight into the knockout zone, so we had to do another relaunch. He made another whoopsie daisy, a zoink scoot, so 1 more relaunch. Thankfully, Dram Buster answered my prayers and I was able to get another bit burst, which means I only needed 1 more point to win.
We won't lose. My friend, we will beat you.
Just keep believing in yourself.
Part of the cards, you know?
Yeah, moment. 3-4, anyone can win. Ladies, are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
So my opponent hit the top of the stadium, which is a no-go, so that counts for another relaunch.
After this, if it hits us at all, it's a relaunch.
Okay.
So I did a slight tilted launch and Dram Buster hit the other Beyblade, but it wasn't quite enough. Not gonna lie, I was kinda nervous at this point because for the first time in this tournament, I didn't want to lose. So this was kind of a do or die moment. I knew that half-assed attacks weren't gonna do anything to this Beyblade, so I tilted my launch to get some stability and pulled with all my might. So funny enough, my iPhone storage got full and the video cut, but I was able to beat my opponent with a burst finish, which was very satisfying. So on to the last match before the finalists are chosen. I was up against Shark Edge's variant, Tuna Edge, 2 very aggressive attack types, so I was interested to see what would happen. A very aggressive battle between the 2 attack types, and I take the first win. So I started going with the flat launch to not get overpowered by Tuna Edge, and I get shot into the knockout zone, but Dram Buster recovers, but I lost too much stamina, better than losing 2 points by knockout though. I went with the flat launch again, and the opponent tilted his launch too much and got his Beyblade off balance, which made it lose stamina, but somehow it still knocked me into the knockout zone, but Dram Buster yet again recovers and wins with a spin finish. I did a slight tilt launch this time to conserve stamina, and it pays off with a spin finish point. Surprisingly, attack type battles are ending in spin finishes these days. Another spin finish point, but it was more of an attack that made the Beyblade flip this time around. 1 more point and I might have a chance at top 8. But I get knocked into the knockout zone and we are tied 4-4. 1 point and one of us wins. Alright, so I decided to go with an aggressive flat launch to see if I can score. And your boy beats Tuna Edge with a knockout. Let's see if I made it to the top 8.
7th, it's 7th, it's Choco 777 with Strong Buster. I need to.
From some sort of miracle by Beyblade Moses, I somehow made it into the top 8 on my first ever Beyblade tournament. So, in the finals, it's a single elimination with 7 points to win instead of the normal 5. And I'm up against Viper Tail, a stamina type Beyblade, so we'll see how the match goes. Surprisingly, the stamina type loses control and sends itself into the extreme zone, winning me 3 points. But I did the same thing and flung myself into the extreme zone as well, losing 3 points. I went slightly conservative and did a slight tilt launch, but Viper Tail, the stamina Beyblade, was very aggressive and threw me into the extreme zone, losing another 3 points. I did another tilt launch, but this time I pulled the cord as hard as I can and my Beyblade flew out of the stadium, which constitutes a relaunch. So the points are at 6-3 and I couldn't lose any more points, so I did the aggressive flat launch, but Dram Buster couldn't get any good hits, and in a stamina battle it will lose against Viper Tail. In the last battle, I kinda got slapped around by Viper Tail like I owed it money. So that concludes the Beyblade tournament. I got 7th place, and 3rd place was Viper Tail, 2nd place was Hell's Hammer, and 1st place goes to Wizard Rod, obviously, overpowered Beyblade. This tournament was actually really fun. It's kinda strange, you build a bond with your Beyblade, even though I didn't care for Dram Buster that much. After the tournament, I actually really liked it. I thought it would be weird for an adult like me to be in a Beyblade tournament, but it wasn't weird at all. And there were a lot of older people that joined. Not only was it fun, but the strategies like changing your tilt and aiming for specific directions on the stadium made it very intuitive and interesting. If you're feeling generous and would like to support the channel, I have a Patreon and all the proceeds go straight into the videos. Anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. Please, if you have the chance to join a tournament, do so, or host one yourself on WBO. And I'll see you in the next one.